Simpson and Tom Lehman. Second round action of the Australian Masters. Peter O'Malley at 14 under. His round still in progress. 6 players at 8 under, including Tiger Woods, who shot a 70.
You know, we have more hoops coming up at midnight. To be specific, it's Pacific and UC Santa Barbara. Raymond King Tutt in action. We're going to wrap up the big show after this.
Coors Light, the silver bullet. It's frost brewed to tap the clean taste of the Rockies.
Hey, where'd you come from?
The Hall of Fame, my man. You guys look bigger on TV.
Ford Ranger has always been able to adapt to just about any environment. Because Ranger gives you a wide choice of body styles and an incredible variety of available features, like anti-lock brakes and a whopping 4-liter V6. So, no matter how the scenery changes, you can fit in without ever blending in. Ford Ranger, the best-selling compact pickup in America, starting at just $10,880.
Luxottica Eyewear. What do you want people to see?
I want you to see a student and a teacher.
See refinement.
I'd like you to see me. Luxottica Eyewear. Let them see you.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Well, we've not all done all the damage we could do, but we're leaving anyway. I'm Keith and he's Dan.
Enjoy the hoops.
Up until last year, this building was one of the toughest on the West Coast. This season, the Thunderdome in Santa Barbara has returned to form. It's been the best of times this year for the Tigers of Pacific. They've done it from the outside, hitting 37% of their threes. And defensively, Ottawa Candy has been a force all season long. The Tigers, the class of the Big West. Tonight from the shores of the Pacific, the leaders of the Big West, the Pacific Tigers, take on the Gauchos of UC Santa Barbara. Hi, everybody. Joel Myers along with Larry Farmer, and welcome to Santa Barbara with the Tigers of the Big West Conference. They have owned the Big West all year long, the same way their center, Michael Ottawa Candy, has dominated in the paint.
Well, he certainly has, and at 7 foot, 260 pounds, he's a lot to deal with on the inside. He missed 7 games this year with a sprained left knee, but he's back now. He's very powerful on the inside, does a nice job of posting up and calling for the basketball. Defensively, he blocks a lot of shots, he changes a lot of shots. Had a big game earlier this year. He had 16 points and 14 rebounds against Georgetown. Santa Barbara will counter with Raymond Tutt. Raymond Tutt is a big-time scorer. He can post, he can drive, he can shoot the three-point shot, and he can also offensive rebound. He's the 11th leading scorer in the nation.
Safe to say, Larry, he plays like a king. Unfortunately for the Gauchos, though, he's the only one this year in double figures. We'll be right back to Santa Barbara. First to the studio, though, with Chris and Digger. Gentlemen.
Joel, thanks. Looking forward to seeing the Tigers here in a very, very hostile environment. Meanwhile, here in the East, Digger, it's after midnight. What does that mean?
It's Valentine's Day. I just thought I'd hang around.
I'd rather spend it with you. No hearts and flowers, the Bruins and the Wildcats, the game of the night in Tucson. It's been a battle throughout. Early on, Michael Dickerson puts the Wildcats up by 1. He hits a 3. UCLA, good defense in the first half, but a lot of turnovers to keep this very close. Toby Bailey responds with a 3 of his own. Then Charles O'Bannon, another 3, Digger.
Well, they're really in a zone defensively. They hold Arizona to 38% in the first half defensively, even though they had 16 turnovers. That's why it was an even game.
Right now it's tied at 46, and the turnover count for the Bruins is up to 24. The bench scored a lot of points for Stanford. 5 of 6 from behind the line. Oregon State was up early, but now it is a huge lead for the Cardinal. Coming up next, it is back to Thunderdome. A whole bunch of folks got in free. They're fired up. We'll see you at halftime.
Buying a used car from a private party is exciting. You read thousands of want ads, make dozens of phone calls, travel hundreds of miles to strange places, meet fascinating people who want to sell you their carefully driven cars they have thoroughly checked out. You carry large amounts of cash, all to get a used car without a warranty. If you don't want that much excitement, go to a new car dealer. Choose from a large selection of carefully inspected used cars they'll stand behind. They'll even take your trade-in.
A message from your Greater Los Angeles motor car dealers.
The 97 Accord. Still fun after all these years. Now you can lease an Accord LX for $239 a month for 24 months and a $750 down payment.
Guys, to work on your dunking skills, we brought in the experts.
Now there's a great deal on McDonald's Chicken McNuggets.
I want to see some crisp passing.
Grab 6 while they're just 99 cents.
And then take it to the hole.
9 are only $1.59.
You called that a dunk? Easy, Grant.
Right now, 20 McNuggets are just $2.99. Perfect with America's favorite fries.
Watch my slam. Yes! That's a dunk.
McDonald's Chicken McNuggets, America's favorite way to dunk.
This is for Mr. Blanchard, who told me to make something of myself. For Miss Miller, who never let me settle for a C. For my parents, who believe in my dreams. For myself, for my future.
Be all that you can be.
We welcome you back to Santa Barbara once again. Joel Myers along with Larry Farmer. We'd like to have in the background right now Johnny and Edgar Winters with a riot in cell block number 9, because this is definitely a jailbreak tonight. Good-looking group always here for the Gauchos. Pacific goes with Rain Mahaffey along the baseline, along with Anders and Ottawa Candy because of the injury to Treewater. A bad ankle for the senior from Traverse City, Michigan, Vic Treewater. Mahaffey's done a super job, though. When he is in the starting lineup this year, he has been averaging 15 points a game earlier this season, filling in for Ottawa Candy when he was down and out. B.J. Bunton, if the name rings a bell, well, his daddy Bill played against my partner Larry Farmer in the NCAA Final Four back in 1970. Well, I won't make you feel that old, partner. 1972. Good-looking sophomore out of Male High School in Louisville. Starting lineups brought to you by the U.S. Armed Forces. Jerry Pimm, he's been around a while in Santa Barbara, 14 years now. If you put together his 9 years at Utah, assistant coach as a player as well, his 41st consecutive season in college basketball. He is a sensational person. Bob Thomas in his 9th year, very successful head coach with the Pacific Tigers, second in career victories now in Stockton. Well, before we joined you, about 8:40, I guess 8:42 to be exact. Thanks, guys. Tortillas, fortunately with no salsa, thrown onto the floor. So the game is going to start, Larry, with a technical, a couple of free throws for the Pacific Tigers, and the ball out of bounds.
And, you know, you want to get your team off to a good start. And if you're Santa Barbara, it's sort of been the tradition here whenever they've been on television to fling the tortillas out. So it gets the crowd involved. They get really excited, but you really start off at a disadvantage.
The last thing you want to do is spot Pacific anything, especially the possibility of a deuce in the ball.
And Bolter on the line, an 82% free thrower.
He's out of Lincoln High School in Stockton. This crowd is amazing. Now, they're still throwing tortillas out. They could be slapped with another tee, and here come more tortillas. And there is going to be another technical. There it goes, and I don't blame the officials at all. It's got to stop.
Well, they came out here a half an hour early, and the officials came over and talked to both you and me, and they were very apologetic about the fact that they had to call the first technical. They said, hey, we have no choice. We come out here a half hour before, and if we see something that happens like that, we've got to penalize the team. Jerry Pimm certainly not at all pleased with this. And
problem is we do not have Digger Phelps here to protect us from these flying tortillas. Well, it's going to be another free throw coming up for Mark Bolter, and then 2 more. Maybe Bolter, maybe another one of the Tigers. But the last thing you want to give a team that's 9-1 of the conference, 18-2 overall, that has done a sensational job both offensively and defensively. Defensively, they're one of the best in the nation, holding their opponents to an average of 58 points per game. So I don't think this is going to be an intimidation factor, the tortilla effect.
No, and it's a great way for Pacific to take the crowd out of the game early. They knock these free throws down, they get the ball out of bounds and score. You know, you spotted a really good team, as you mentioned, Joe, but for right now, Coach Bob Thomas in the Pacific has got to be a little bit concerned. He's talked to his team in the locker room.
Now, one more technical foul on the crowd, and Jerry Pimm is ejected from the game for a third technical on the crowd.
Please sit and watch the game, yell. You know, the Gauchos want to play, we want to watch us play, the Tigers are ready to play. Let's let the game go on. Keep the stuff in the stands, please.
I believe it's also Greek night on campus, so that obviously has nothing to do with it.
And apparently what Coach Pimm just said is Greek to some of the people in the stands, because I just saw 2 more tortillas come out.
Now the potential is still there for 3 more free throws and the 3-point play, a 3-point basket. They could start the game with the ball and a 6-0 advantage. At least take the ball out of bounds at the 3, 6-0 for Pacific. And they come in a big favorite to begin with on the road in the Thunderdome. Now, the Thunderdome has been kind this year. Santa Barbara has been phenomenal, 9-2 at home this year. They haven't won on the road, so they're definitely a home team. They're 0-9 away from home.
And they want the crowd to be into this ball game.
Well, Bolger's missed the first 2. The crowd's definitely... Now, wait a minute. More tortillas are coming out, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it really is. It was fun the first time. The second time, you really start to penalize your team, and that's one thing you don't want to do. You're here to support the team, not to hurt them.
So he gets the first one now. He is 1 of 3.
And I tell you what, Joel, that's a lonely feeling. Bolter's been out there for a long time, and there's only a handful of people in this building that want to see him make these free throws.
He only gets 1 of 4. So had I known this was going to develop before the game, I didn't need to go to the Superica Taqueria for the tortillas that I had earlier this evening.
We could have each brought a plastic bag.
Unbelievable. Minimal damage so far. Only 1 out of 4. And Pacific will have the ball. You like that? What a way to begin. 1-0 Pacific, and they've got the ball.
You watch Santa Barbara, they will try and apply as much pressure as they possibly can to the basketball to disrupt the offense of Pacific.
Ottawa Candy trying the first one of the evening. They have no one that really size-wise can match up with him, but he was well short on that attempt, only 10 feet away. Les Bean is the point guard for the Gauchos. Bakir Allen wearing the face mask because of a broken nose.
Santa Barbara, a team that averages 67 points a game, so they're not looking for a lot of up-tempo, but will get in the half court, run their offense, utilize a lot of clock, and then look to score late in the possession.
Pick and roll was there, but they recognized a little bit too late trying to get it to Keelan Wallace. Going to Ottawa Candy again. Not close again. Owens. Make it Owens, yes. Out top, hits a 3-pointer. Corey Andrews did the job, though. He kept it alive.
And Pacific very content in the half court. You watched Michael Olowokandi miss that easy shot. Very easy shot for him. Might be a little tight. He's only played in 1 ball game after having missed the 7 ball games with the sprained left knee. Starting off a little bit tight. Once he gets in a rhythm, awfully difficult to guard on the inside.
It almost seems like Owens and Anders and a couple of the other Tigers, they're feeding off this crowd themselves. Bunt. He got some separation with Ottawa Candy. Nice 15, 16-foot fall away. And more tortillas, and Jerry Pimm's got to worry. He may be out of the game. That should be the 3rd technical. Absolutely ridiculous. There's no excuse now.
As I said before, the first one, you could tolerate. The students did it prior to the start of the ball game. None of the players on the floor were at risk from getting hit by a flying object.
And one of those three Big West officials just came over to Bob Thomason and says, I don't want to throw him out. And I think they're maintaining their composure, doing a great job at the same time.
Now this historically is when Santa Barbara has launched, the student body has launched these tortillas, and it's after the first score. You see the outside shot by B.J. Button Jr. And here they come.
Do not throw any more objects onto the floor.
And as they say that,
Technical foul called against the Gauchos for objects being thrown onto the floor will mean the removal of the coaching staff. Do not throw any
finally they have announced that it's going to mean the removal of the coaching staff for the Gauchos. Big win for USC to maintain at least a share of the Pac-10 lead. UCLA, we saw what Digger and Chris were talking about just a few minutes ago. 10 minutes left in that game. It was tied at 46 in Tucson. So no technical call. Great job of the Big West officials. They don't want Jerry Pimm to leave the game.
Especially under those circumstances, and just a class act in Coach Bob Thomason to stand there, listen to the officials, and agree to what their decision was.
Mahaffey couldn't hang on. Wallace got away with one there. No doubt about that. Plenty of action from Keelan Wallace, the junior from Sherman, Texas. Tutt. They left him alone. He was off balance, though.
Yeah, he lost his footing, and that's certainly the kind of look that Raymond Tutt likes to get, especially early on.
Mahaffey. And it's off the fingertips of Monty Owens. Corey Anders back in that corner as well. Anders very active at both ends of the floor.
He certainly is, and Anders an excellent defender. He'll match up with Raymond Tutt as he has with most of the prolific scorers in the Big West Conference.
The hold on Bakir Allen. Olowokandi with the body. Game keys, Larry.
Well, for Pacific, they've got to get their inside-outside game going, get it inside to their big guys, Olowokandi, kick it back outside, pound that offensive board, use their size, and go to their bench. For Santa Barbara, you got to apply a lot of pressure on the basketball to try and disrupt the offense of Pacific.
Wallace trying to take it hard to Olowokandi, who got a piece of it. Then Wallace knocked it out of bounds. 2-point lead for the Tigers, the leaders with a 9-1 record in Big West play. Rotating to find Olowokandi. And the hold inside from behind on Button. That's his first.
Button at 6'7", 225 is really giving up a lot of size and weight and strength on the inside. Button will really have to play smart for a freshman and use his quickness, for a sophomore, and use his quickness and not rely on strength.
Owens for a three. Didn't draw iron. Bakir Allen with the rebound. And more tortillas on the floor. I'll tell you, Jim Stupin, the lead official here, is doing a phenomenal job of not losing his composure. There's Jim.
If Steuben lets this slip out of control and assesses the next tee and you get the crowd really angry, not that they haven't been active.
Let's give credit, as you mentioned, to Bob Thomason as well, the head coach of the Tigers.
Well, you know, he could be up chirping in the referee's ear, hey, get Pimm out of there, and he's not doing that. He wants to win this game, and he wants to win this game as bad as Coach Pimm, but with all pieces in place.
You said it. Inside of 10 now left on the shot clock. Tutt losing the handle. They're having problems finding Tutt in his spots on the floor.
And you can credit the defense of Pacific to that in Corey Anders. Corey Anders, in some situations, will have to switch, but he's assigned to Tutt, and all he has to do is trail him around screens, pressure him, and try and deny Tutt easy looks.
Nice drop low for Mahaffey. Good look at the basket, though, about 10, 12-foot fall away. The penetration to the foul. It'll be on Owens. Good dribble penetration by Lespine. Kind of like that name, Les Bean.
At 5'11", Les is awfully mean, too. Very quick. Monty Owens really needing to give Les Bean more of a cushion. Bean not known for his outside shooting.
Bump rejected by Ottawa Candy. Over Ottawa Candy. And Miami with a solid position. Couldn't hang on to it. Bakir Allen crosses it. Tutt, good spacing. And draws the foul and goes to the line looking for the three-point play.
Bakir Allen doing a nice job of sneaking in and dislodging that basketball. He's looking for Tutt. Tutt will close the distance against the defense, take it right to Ottawa Candy, really forces Ottawa Candy's hand to try and block the shot, and when he gets the center airborne, jumps into him, draws the contact, and has the presence of mind to softly score the basket.
Strewater just came in for Ottawa Candy. Comes down with the rebound after the miss on the three-point attempt. Trying to convert that three-point play. It's tied at 4 now. Backdoor cut. Great idea. Was it touched? Bean was holding. Great idea. Good communication between Owens and Strewater.
It really was a set play.
So Ottawa Candy on the bench already with 2 personal fouls. And it's all even so far in Santa Barbara.
No two GM owners are alike.
We drive a lot of different kinds of cars
And trucks for a lot of different reasons.
But when J.D. Power and Associates
ask new vehicle owners about the quality,
Sales experience and delivery of
their vehicle,
the different
GM owners
wound up
mostly saying the same thing.
Same thing.
General Motors bring highest in satisfaction right from the start.
people in motion.
Clean is my business. So when I'm on the road, Super 8's my motel. Clean carpets, clean seats, clean. Clean inside and out. Life's great at Super 8.
A lot of what I do goes on behind the scenes. You know, most people aren't exactly on a first-name basis with their State Farm claim representative. They know their agent, but they probably don't know that their agent has a partner, that we're a team, that we've worked on hundreds of claims together. But people take notice when a claim is handled promptly, and you won't get too many complaints if you just treat them fair, because that's when people appreciate what we do and who they're insured with.
Tremendous game in Tucson. Bruins led by 5, but defense keys an Arizona comeback. Bennett, Davis, and back-to-back steals. The Bruins have 27 turnovers. Mike Bibby, the freshman, will then deliver the 3. It had been a rough night behind the arc for the Wildcats, but now it's tied. Joel?
Wild one, Chris. Tied at 60. A little more than 2 minutes to play in Tucson. Bruins lost there last year. Won there the year before, though. Well, USC has to feel great about what has developed for them, winning on the road tonight already in Pac-10 play. This was while we were away. You know, we've talked about it before. Some sick puppies here in Santa Barbara. We always enjoy coming here. They get it inside. Good look. Mahaffey misses another easy one. And Larry, they've had great looks at the basket. Haven't converted at all.
You know, Coach Bob Thomason told us today that one of the keys to their start at 18-2 has been the fact that they have run their offense well. They don't force shots, but they've gotten good shots, and they play good defense. And as you mentioned, Joe, so far in this first half, they've owned the left side low post. Pacific hasn't getting the ball inside. They just haven't converted.
Anders running one-hander, not close. Tried to take it in on Bakir Allen. After the miss at the opposite end by Wallace. Not much offense from either team. Just about 5 minutes into the game now, tied at 4.
And Santa Barbara needs to feed off the crowd. They're at home. They've won 2 straight games, and they've got to take advantage of Pacific's slow start in this game. They've got to put up some points and get a nice cushion. And that's how you win when you play a really good team. Take advantage of their mistakes.
Mahaffey again had the good look at the basket, didn't go for it, and it's taken away by Tutt. The distance and the lead. Somebody remind these kids it's early. Don't peak too soon. First lead of the game for UCSB. Monty Owens answers at the opposite end. The senior from Paramount, California, transferred from Cerritos Community College. Tutt has 4 of the 6 as it knocked away from Raymond Tutt. Other scores around the Big West Conference tonight. Tough year for UC Irvine. Real tough. Tim Nordahl coming in now for the Tigers. He's a senior from Perth, Australia.
Pacific solid man-to-man defense. They don't gamble. They try and pressure every shot, contest every pass.
Wallace, shot clock down, and the follow is there. Tutt found a little seam on the baseline. Nobody kept up with him.
Tutt at 6'4", is the leading offensive rebounder on the Santa Barbara team. He averages 6 rebounds per game. But Tutt just finds a way to score. We talked about him at the top of the show. He will get the ball and score any way imaginable for a player his size.
Bolter is still having his problems from the outside. Bean with the penetration. Not a bad jump stop. 20-second timeout, Tigers. And this crowd has had nothing to do with it. Not much. Don't forget, start of the NASCAR season. All the racing excitement. It's the Dash Series Discount Auto Parts 200. That'll be coming your way tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 for us out here in Santa Barbara. So don't forget, start Valentine's Day off in style with the Dash Series. That's at 11 a.m. Eastern. Have you coached UCLA, you played in some tough buildings like Mac Court up in Eugene where the crowd's right on top. Do you ever remember a building this loud?
It's deafening, and I liken it to Mac Court. You see the nice jump stop right there by Les Bean. Really just beat the defense of Pacific down the floor with his quickness, then made an excellent jump stop to get himself under control and finish.
4-point lead for the underdogs on their home floor. The Gauchos of UCSB. Treewater trying to get it. Taken away. Combination defense. Help inside. Tutt swatted it away. Allen has it. Allen finds a crease. And Nordahl travels with it.
You see Barkir Allen finds a seam in the defense. Shoots that with the left hand and misses. Nordahl does a nice job of getting 2 hands on the ball, but he comes down slightly off balance, doesn't have a wide base and falls down. Easy call.
Paul Chavez with the ball into the game for the first time tonight. He's the backup at the point for the Gauchos, taking over for Les Bean. Trying to post up Wallace. Aaron pass by Bunt in the high-low game. Wide open jumper. They still can't convert. That time Tim Bowman, who just came off the bench. He's a senior from Santa Monica High School. Blocking ball on Nordahl. That is the 4th team foul on the Tigers compared to only 2 for the Gauchos overall.
It didn't take Tim Nordahl long to get involved in the action. He's a very aggressive player, and unfortunately he's had 2 calls go against him back-to-back.
Bolter ready to come back into the game for the Tigers.
Good defense by Pacific. Santa Barbara just very patient.
Tutt never forces it to the offensive end. In fact, he's top-heavy on the second half numbers. He scores most of his points in the second 20. Chavez doesn't look for the shot. Finds Wallace, though. Got close on a wide-open 10-footer. Whoa. Good bounce entry, and Nordahl rejected by Wallace. Nice block by Keelan Wallace.
Wallace, very smart, did not leave his feet on the up fake by Nordahl, just held his ground, used his quickness to get up and tap that shot away.
Still a 4-point lead. Bunton tries to add to it and does so just inside the 3-point line. It is up to 6 now, the advantage for the Gauchos.
What was that you said about the disadvantage of those tortillas at the beginning of the game?
Well, they were dry. They didn't have any salsa. They were hot and spicy. Could have made a huge difference early. Well, no salsa, though.
Yeah. But you think about Pacific.
Allen can flip his lid. His team's up by 6. And Tutt has been solid, picking up half the 12 so far for the Gauchos.
We're rolling.
Do you remember? Excellent. Plymouth Neon. Plymouth Breeze. Plymouth Voyager. Plymouth Prowler.
Al, what are you doing?
Charles O'Bannon, a huge night, 26 points. But these are the biggest two. The Bruins down by a deuce, drives baseline, hits the shot. J.R. Henderson then gets the ball in the lane after an Arizona offensive foul was called. And the Bruins, a huge win in Tucson, guys.
Chris, thank you. That is a wild one for the Bruins, and the first one under Steve Lavin after you drop the interim now, Larry.
He's got to feel really good about that.
Wow. So a 2-point win for the Bruins to stay tied with the Trojans. And those two are getting together in just a few days at Pauley Pavilion. Off balance leaner. Andrews still can't find it. Tigers hitting for a very poor percentage from the floor over the first just about 10 minutes of the game.
And that's why it's so very important for Santa Barbara to take advantage of the 2 for 13 shooting that Pacific has started out with. You've got to get a cushion, spurt, get ahead, build a lead, because you know at some point with the kinds of shots that Pacific is getting, they're going to come back and start making those.
Ottawa Candy out of the timeout, back in with 2 personal fouls. Mahaffey just made the nice play.
Yeah, 2 of 13 is really not going to get it done, especially on the road. And not a bad shot amongst the 13, but you've only knocked down 2. You've got to do better than that here.
Ottawa Candy, the only one on either side with 2 fouls so far. Only a 6-point deficit for the Tigers despite the 2 for 13. They've got to get Bolger going. Bowman for 3. That's a start. Tim Bowman, the senior from Santa Monica High School. 7-point average coming into the game. Cuts the deficit in half down to 3.
Bowman, a 35% three-point shooter, very confident.
And at the opposite end, Keelan Wallace. Or check that. Williams into the game now. Dwayne Williams just out of the timeout. The junior from Indy.
And Williams over the last 5 games has struggled with the shooting and his confidence. Just 7 for 19, about 37%, but certainly looked like he regained his shooting form on that play.
Bowman again available and bangs in another 3. Get it to the hot hand. 2-point lead now for the Gauchos. Tutt for 3, quick release. He hasn't had many touches the last couple of possessions. He took it upon himself as that one was taken away from Bolter. Dwayne Williams kept it alive.
It's interesting when we talked to Jerry Pimm today, he talked about Tutt and his unselfishness, and you'd mentioned earlier how he scores more points in the second half so far this season than in the first.
But line driving that one, 10-12 feet away. Opportunity for Bowman and the Tigers, who tie it up and take the lead with a 3. Bowman feels it and draws the foul on the entry. He's shoved by Chavez.
Bowman really setting up that shot, having just hit an outside shot. He really forced Paul Chavez out to defend him against a 3 and very alertly put the ball on the floor and beat him off the dribble to draw the foul.
Under the 14 foul on Santa Barbara, the very first on Paul Chavez, the point guard. Ottawa Canby trying to get it in the inbound series is shoved.
You get Matt Pinckney on that foul. Pinckney assigned to Olowokandi on the inside, just lost a little bit of vision of his man, and then reacting to the pass on the ball, moved underneath Olowokandi, drew the foul. That's a nice matchup. You talk about two big guys going at it.
Bolter is still having problems, but that one was beyond the NBA three-point arc. That was way out there. Wallace in the transition. Will go to the line to shoot 2. So the Tigers getting back a little late, tardy that time, and a good look to get it to Wallace.
Number 34, Ray Mahaffey, first personal.
Well, you watch transition right here, and that's one of the areas of the game that Santa Barbara can take advantage. They are really fast, and that's just a question of getting the ball up the floor before the defense has a chance to get set and react.
70% free throw shooter this year. Second on the team. You see those numbers of both scoring and rebounding despite missing 7 games with injuries. Played only 15 so far this season.
They missed 6 weeks, and that's an awful lot of time to miss and then come back.
And now misses 2 free throws. Stays only a 2-point lead for Santa Barbara. Bowman, nice penetration. He's hammered by Pinckney, but the foul was earlier, I believe, on Williams. Yes. 2 shots coming up for Bowman, and he's been a catalyst since coming off the bench.
Yeah, and he uses that screen very nicely, really angles it in. You see the reach in right there. But I tell you what, Pinckney, Pinckney got all of his money's worth on that. Foul had already been assessed, and he figured no harm, no foul.
Very valuable 6th man, and we've seen already over the last 4 or 5 minutes of this game going to the line for the Tigers of Pacific. And now the opportunity to tie it up after hitting the first of 2. Off the bench, to give you an idea of how much Bowman means as the 6th man. Off the bench, he has led the Tigers in scoring already 4 times this season. Can't collect the second.
You sort of sense Pacific getting back in a groove. They're starting to gain in a little bit of confidence. Really believe the start, or at least the slowness to getting the game started, really affected them the most. They're on the road.
Bolter gets the loose stuff after the miss by Bean for 3. And Bolter with a nice maneuver inside, but couldn't handle it. And it was picked up by Williams.
Bolter that time guilty of over-penetrating. Got the ball in too deep, too close to the defense. Really not a whole lot he could have done with it.
Josh Merrill on the floor now for the first time tonight. Merrill with it.
Good defense. Absolutely cut off that baseline. There was no place for the offensive player to go. Great team defense.
Bean with a break with 3 on the shot clock. And Dwayne Williams bails out the Gauchos.
And Joel, it's those kind of possessions that can really demoralize your defense. You do a nice job, you're quick to the ball, you talk on the help side, and out of your defensive rotation, you give up a long shot with the clock running down. Team hits that, it can really take the air out of your defense.
Great box out by Josh Merrill to take Mahaffey right out of the rebounding play. 3-point lead for the Gauchos. Again, the same man who just hit it, Dwayne Williams. Short that time. Almost took it away from Owens. And Owens drawing the foul on his way in. That is the 7th team foul. So 1-and-1 time coming up the rest of the way for the Tigers. That is the 2nd on Les Bean.
Pacific, a team that likes to get in their sets in the half court, execute their offense, set a lot of screens, get easy looks. You see Coach Bob Thomas in there. They've been successful, at least in the last 3 or 4 minutes, on running plays, but getting the balls to key players and having those players make plays or create some offense off the dribble.
Both teams are hitting for a very low percentage from the floor so far tonight. With 6:19 left in the first 20. As Monty Owens hits the first, earns the second. 84% at the stripe so far this season. That's uncalled for. You can see what somebody's doing out of the crowd.
That looks like a laser, and that certainly is.
Uncalled for. You know, it's fun in the first minute of the game to have a good time when you come out, but we're talking about young adults. They aren't kids anymore, and they ought to start acting like it.
And you certainly don't want to do anything to put any of the players at risk. Throwing things on the floor or shining a light like that, and if that was a laser, that's an awfully powerful beam. You just don't want to get anybody hurt. This is a game. It should be fun. It should be excitement. Absolutely uncalled for.
Shot clock winding down again. Josh Merrill will have to go up with it. And does it, believe it or not. Josh Merrill with the three-pointer, the sophomore from University High School in San Diego. And the biggest lead of the night now. We'll check that. It's a 5-point advantage. They did lead at 12-6, the Gauchos, but they are up by 5. 3 for 3. Anders. And a break. Trewiler gets it. But it's taken away by Merrill, who saves it. Tutt in the open floor. He'll go to the line. Things getting away from the Tigers over the last couple of minutes.
Pacific not as aggressive, not getting firm, 2 hands on the ball. Josh Merrill, who hits this last three-pointer, he sets the pick and he rolls, but he doesn't roll to the basket. He flares. The defense has to run an awful long way to get to him. Josh Merrill, 42% from behind the arc, knocks that three-pointer down.
Now the 11th leading scorer in the nation, Raymond Tutt. Hits the first of 2, comes into the game averaging 23 a contest, second best in the Big West, along with 11th best in the country.
He's already been named Big West Player of the Week 3 times so far this season.
And another one at the stripe for Tutt. Now that is the largest lead of the game. The Gauchos are up by 7. Tutt's got 8, and everything working out for the team on their home floor.
This is your mission, should you choose to accept it.
Simple game. Is he serious?
Always.
It's much worse than you think.
I can understand you're very upset.
You've never seen me very upset.
Premiering February 12th on pay-per-view.
It's President's Days, and Ford's never had a sales event this early, this big, this good. APRs as low as 1.9%. Rebates up to $1,500. Get the Ford you want, like Taurus, Escort, Windstar, Ranger, even Contour. With 1.9 APRs or up to $1,500 cash back, you'll be counting presidents all the way to the bank. The President's Day sales event. This weekend, get 1.9 or up to $1,500 cash back. Hello, Mr. President.
A crucial SEC rematch when Vanderbilt looks to avenge last month's overtime loss to Pat Summitt's Lady Vols and super sophomore Shamiqua Holdsclaw. Vanderbilt versus Tennessee, Monday at 4 on ESPN.
Before the flag drops, tune in for up-to-the-minute pre-race news and interviews. We'll take you inside the oval with a special RPM Today at 11, followed by NASCAR Today. Daytona 500 inside the oval, Sunday at 11 on ESPN2.
Welcome back to the home of the Free Spirits. UC Santa Barbara. Joel Myers along with Larry Farmer, and don't forget this Saturday, Newt Capel, and one of the hottest teams in the country, the Blue Devils of Duke. You said it, Wojo. He hit the free throws to win it. That controversial one at Virginia just a couple of nights ago. Duke on the road and taking on the Seminoles of Florida State. That is Saturday night at 7:30 Eastern. But don't forget earlier in the day, DW. The Colonials on the road taking on number 19 Xavier at noon. Double dip. Great college basketball again on Saturday on ESPN.
Alexander Poole, James Posey from Xavier. Be a nice matchup.
First trap we've seen from either side of the backcourt, broken easily by the Tigers. Bob Thomason.
It's a nice little change of defensive strategy out of that timeout to extend the defense and see if you can catch Pacific perhaps off guard.
What a save. They tried to pour it inside to Treewater. Great save, but the young man who came into the game, Matt Stock, for the first time tonight. He was ready to go into the crowd. Friendly crowd.
But Jerry Pimm talked about his team gaining in confidence. He wanted them to play with more aggression.
Look out. You better pick up Merrill. You just talked about his three-point field goal percentage. 10-point lead now for Santa Barbara. Bowman will go to the line to shoot two. Clipped on the elbow by Chavez, picking up his second. Nordahl and Velisco coming in now for the Tigers. Velisco for the first time. Second trip onto the floor for Nordahl. 4:18 left in the first half. Terrible one from the field for the Tigers Pacific, but the Gauchos of Santa Barbara have had something to do with that.
Santa Barbara feeding off the emotions of this crowd and a slow offensive production, at least at the beginning from Pacific, have really gotten in a groove.
That wouldn't be complete, I guess, without one.
Packers.
1 of 2, and Merrill with authority on that rebound. Williams, good penetration. Made it look easy. Working against Bowman to the baseline.
Just an excellent decision and the use of quickness in the open court. And I tell you, this Santa Barbara team is playing with the aggression that Coach Pimm talked to us about that he wanted.
Williams, what a spark he has been off the bench along with Josh Merrill for Jerry Pimm.
Santa Barbara needed to get somebody else really contributing in this ball game other than Tutt. And that first ball game that they played against UOP January 25th, which Santa Barbara lost, Tutt was the only player in double figures. And you can't beat a good team with one guy carrying the scoring load. And certainly Santa Barbara has come out with a vengeance offensively.
You talk about Tutt. Tutt has led him in scoring every game this year with the exception of one. And that was the very first contest of the season. Balance for the Gauchos so far tonight as they lead by 11.
The clever idea people from Plymouth are at it again with another clever idea. Plymouth Voyager Plus. What's the plus? $1,250 of package values at no extra charge. Like air conditioning, 7-passenger seating, and a whole lot more for this great price. Now that's a big plus. Plymouth Voyager Plus. At your Plymouth dealer. Aren't they clever?
Man, it's cold. You said it. There's something going on here.
Looking for a way to warm up this winter? Come to Wendy's.
You look like you could use a couple of spicy chicken sandwiches.
Wendy's Spicy Chicken Sandwich is a whole breast filet seasoned with Dave's own blend of pepper and spices. It's got a spicy hit that'll make you feel warm all over.
Surf's up. We gotta get another one.
Come in this winter and warm up with a Wendy's Spicy Chicken Sandwich.
Cozy, huh?
What? Whoa. Bedroom?
No way.
Security? Close to transportation! Classic fixtures. Ooh, what do we have here?
Bud Light.
Go ahead. It's got your name on it. I'll get my own. Nice. Huh?
I'll take it. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
That was close. I was down on my last one.
In some cities, you say, you know, it must have been something in the water, but I guess in Santa Barbara, you say it must be something in the tortillas.
We certainly saw enough of those before the start of the game. You watch Dwayne Williams here, just sort of lulls Veličković off the dribble. Veličko really gave up on that play, Joe. I thought he just offered up the baseline and didn't make any effort to regain his position and try and block the shot.
Bowman has all the bench scoring for Pacific, while Merrill, Williams, a couple of others, shot clock winding down. Merrill again all alone in the corner. And Pinckney has it, but Bowman takes it away. They're letting him play. Bowman 2-on-3. Anders gets a beat on the baseline. He'll go to the line, shooting 2. 11-point lead as we welcome you back to Santa Barbara. Joel Myers along with Larry Farmer. Good drive at the baseline, Larry.
And that just sucks the defense in, and then Corey Anders makes a nice move to avoid the defense on the baseline, not step out of bounds. Attacks the interior of that Santa Barbara defense and draws a foul.
Second foul on Dwayne Williams. Both guards now, Les Bean and Paul Chavez, have 2 fouls apiece for the Gauchos. 3:06 left in the first half. As Anders hits 2 free throws, 2 big ones to draw within 9 for the Tigers.
Corey Anders coming off a big game against Nevada. He had 11 points and 7 rebounds.
They've used the shot clock regularly as Merrill can't handle it, and he saves it very alertly before it gets to the half-court line. A little shovel for Dwayne Williams. Smart game by Merrill. Tutt, right man with the shot clock winding down, but he's blocked as Velisco held his ground. And now the rebounding foul on Pinckney, as Mahaffey is going to go to the free throw line. Don't forget this coming Saturday on the Deuce. Great matchup. Devils on the road. In fact, Montreal native Martin Rodor going back with the Devils, who are tied for 3rd in the league in goals against. Join us. Fire on Ice, the Devils and the Habs in Montreal this coming Saturday night, 7:30 Eastern on the Deuce. So now 2 free throws the rest of the way for Mahaffey and the Tigers.
Those 10 team fouls, I'm sure Coach Pimm only concerned about how they occurred, but not that they did occur. He said his team at the beginning of the year would knock other players down, and they had the attitude, excuse me, I'm sorry I knocked you down, and try and help them up.
Tried to save it, wide open underneath. Corey Anders makes no mistake about that one. And it's a 6-point ball game, so 5 unanswered points now by the Tigers after trailing by 11.
Santa Barbara needs to take their time now, make sure they get a good look to score.
Good look that time. Merrill, second chance. Glass is rocking. Bob Thomason wanted a technical foul for hanging in the rim on the previous attempt. Didn't get it, though. Mahaffey trying to cut into the 8-point Gaucho lead, does so. It's down to 6.
And that's a tough shot. Catch it in the low post, take a 1-bounce dribble to rhythm up, and then shoot a fall away. Completely takes the ball away from the defense. There's no opportunity to block.
Now Jerry Pimm is going to use his 20. He can't carry 3 into the second half, of course, with the rules this year. So he'll use his 20. UCLA, Arizona, and what a game it was down to the wire in Tucson. Chris and Digger are going to fill you in at the half on the Delta Faucet halftime report. Highlights as well, Arizona State at home trying to upset USC, a co-leader in the Pac-10 conference. What a job Henry Bibby has done with that squad, Larry.
Yeah, Henry, an old teammate of mine, he certainly has. Here was a play that Bob Thomason was really upset about. You saw Matt Pinckney grab the rim. He wasn't really in danger of getting low bridge, but he grabbed the rim. The basket was moving.
Legitimate gripe by Bob Thomason.
Certainly was.
Stock is going to handle it. Bean with a couple of fouls, like Chavez. The entry from Merrill, who's triple team, still gets it away. Ill-advised attempt at that. Bowman the other way. Barges his way to a basket. And it's down to 4, the lead for Santa Barbara.
Tim Bowman with excellent quickness and body control. He made a very difficult decision at the end of that play to challenge the defense. Tough shot.
He's already 3 above his average, partner. Average is 7 a game, and he's got 10 off the bench tonight to lead the Tigers. Merrill at the three-point line. Again, that's his 3rd three-pointer. Merrill's got 11 to lead the Gauchos, and they're back up by 7. Final minute.
Josh Merrill showing the ability to stretch that defense.
Tutt got a piece of it to create the steal. They can play for the final shot, but Stock goes up with it, and he's fouled for 3. Bowman got him. Thomas and his coach could not believe it. And Stock bailed out big time. They could have held on for the final shot.
Stock's a very smart player, very heady. As a matter of fact, they like to have him in the ball game late in the half just because he makes good decisions. The defense is so far off of him, it almost bait Stock into taking that shot. Certainly looking at time to score, that's when you want to milk the clock, and you can get that kind of shot late in the possession, and you get more time off the clock.
So now 3 free throws. Matt Stockton, he joined us a little bit late tonight. The game started with 4 free throws for Tim Bolter, who only converted, or Mark Bolter rather, who only converted on 1 because of 2 technical fouls. Tortilla is thrown on the floor repeatedly by the fans across the way. The student body section here at the Thunderdome that holds 5,000. It sounds like about 50,000 regularly. 1 more for Stock.
And you know, Joel, the difficult thing, you talk to your team in the locker room if you're Pacific, you get them out here, you warm them up, you bring them over, you talk to them before you go out for the jump ball, and all of a sudden there's a delay, there's another delay, and I think that really affected the way Pacific started off this ball game.
Couldn't have helped. Good point. So now final shot time for the Tigers, down by 8. Owens trying to play a 2-man game with Bowman. They got plenty of time. For 3. Bowman, another attempt at the buzzer. He knocks it in with a couple of seconds to go, and that'll do it in the first 20 minutes of play. Santa Barbara led by as many as 11. They are going to the locker room with a 6-point advantage. Well, Jimmy Buffett's got Margaritaville. We've got no complaints. We've got Santa Barbara. We've got Tortillaville. 6-point lead for the Gauchos over the Tigers. Back to the studio now with Chris and Digger. Gentlemen.
Would be the damaging loss if Pacific doesn't get the automatic bid out of the Big West. Digger. Here.
It's been halftime.
Oh. It is indeed the Delta Faucet halftime report. Exciting first half, but I know it is normally way
past. It's my first halftime, and this is for Clark Kellogg, Mike Tirico. I am here, and I'm ready. Let's go, because we got some great scores.
A thriller in the Pac-10, an upset in Conference USA, and a history-making late-night appearance by Digger Phelps, all ahead on the Delta Faucet halftime report. Stick around.
The new Kawasaki 1100 STX watercraft has more pulling power than any jet ski watercraft ever built. Good news for that big guy out there on the end of the rope.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue #1. So don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
Oh, honey, boy. I told you you'd love it.
You were right, sweetie. I wanted the
city.
motel. I feel like an outdoorsman.
Well,
good night, honey.
Oh my gosh.
Did you hear that noise?
Yes, I did hear that. What is it? What do you see? What do you see?
Oh boy, honey. Where's the Ericsson cellular phone?
Oh, shoot, I left it outside.
What do you mean you left it outside? I gotta go out there and get it.
Ericsson cellular phones. Because when life gets a little wild, you want a reliable Ericsson cellular phone.
Hi, yeah, we're in a tent. There's some trees and there's a huge bear out there.
Plymouth Neon. Fun and affordability in 4-door and coupe. The new Plymouth Voyager and Grand Voyager. The next generation of the minivan. And the new Plymouth Breeze. The family sports sedan with fun for 5. The new line of Plymouths. What'll they come up with next? One clever idea after another. That's Plymouth.
Foot action. I've got so much foot action.
They thought I'd be perfect for a shoe commercial. So why is it in slow motion? You want to see the shoe, don't you?
Foot Action's also where to get the air flight turbulence from Nike. For every action, there's Foot Action.
Welcome back. Wide awake for the Delta Faucet halftime report. Chris Fowler with Digger Phelps. A thriller in Tucson. Nobody went to bed watching the 24th ranked Bruins when Steve Lavin comes in, the first game since no longer the interim head coach. Got to play an Arizona team that had not lost at home. Huge three. Defense creating turnovers by UCLA. And then Jason Terry buries it and tie the score at 60. J.R. Henderson loses the handle inside, then gets the jumper to go, puts the Bruins up 2. Final chance for the Wildcats. Miles Simon drives. Henderson the block. Jelani McCoy. And then Simon, one last desperation heave from the corner, doesn't go. And the Bruins get the season sweep. Earlier, they'd beaten Arizona in overtime at Pauley, Digger.
And Chris, it was a defense in the first half. UCLA really in a zone tonight. They hold Arizona, where they normally shoot 50% at home, to 38% shooting in the first half.
O'Bannon, 10 of 14 from the floor. Stanford started slowly against Oregon State. You see Carson Cunningham to Corey Benjamin, but then Stanford would get hot from the perimeter. Brevin Knight to Mosley, who buries it, also gets the foul. Cardinal up by 8 at halftime, and then Knight was brilliant. The sweet penetration, the dish to Mark Seaton to finish it off. Knight, strong outing as Stanford rolls over Oregon State. They have a whole bunch of home games coming up down the stretch. They are 14-6, 7-5 now in the Pac-10. Cal finishing off an Oregon team. Seems like a long time ago, the Ducks were undefeated and ranked in the top 25 at the beginning of the season. USC goes on the road, gets a big win at Arizona State. Next up, the Wildcats Saturday. They beat Arizona a month ago by a dozen in L.A. So the Pac-10, I guess, coming a little bit into focus tonight, although the Bruins and Trojans still tied for first.
And that's what's exciting about it right now. When you take a look at what UCLA has coming up this weekend, Arizona State, maybe a little softer game, less pressure. But Southern Cal going into Tucson to play against a loss. You know, this is where the battle, and the Bruins may end up in first place by themselves after this weekend.
Yeah, Bruins did not do the Trojans a favor having to go into Arizona after a Wildcat loss. In Conference USA, Tulane and UAB, one of those weird games where Perry Clark had to believe that his team had the game in control against a big underdog until the final minute of the game. Here's Cedric Dixon, gets the pocket picked. Chris Cameron picks up the loose ball. Damon Cobb with a big dunk. Tulane had the lead in Fogelman. A little over minutes to go. Tulane still up by 4, but Carlos Williams, outside of Birmingham, this guy's a good player, kind of an unknown, cuts the lead to 1. Tulane up 2 with Damon Cobb again in the corner. Perry Clark, you better be worried you're down 1. Desperation here by Gerald Honeycutt, who misses the three-pointer. Honeycutt, just a miserable game. Williams, 22 of his 30 in the second half.
What this does now, you take Tulane, Marquette, North Carolina, Charlotte. They're all going to fight for that 4th bid in Conference USA.
Tulane in the draw on most people, but this is kind of a damaging loss here. Bob Huggins, fiery. He did get the technical. Danny Fortson got 4 fouls, and then a little talk back from his coach right there. Rashid Malik shoots, goes in, and hits the three-pointer there, or hits the shot, and St. Louis is up by a point there. But then Charles Williams, the little guard, the newcomer, gets the hoop and the blocking foul. The Bearcats, a hard-fought victory. The score not as close as the game actually was. Darnell Burton, 21 points to the Bearcats, who go to 19-4. They have South Carolina in a big game at home this weekend. ACC, Florida State visiting Maryland. Terrell Stokes, a little Globetrotter moves right there. Maryland up by 11 at halftime. The game was close early. The Terrapins methodically pulling away. Watch the spin move inside by Keith Booth. You say, Maryland, Digger, a team to fear.
Maryland's really solid, really strong, well-balanced. Look at the inside play. They know what to do. Gary Williams has his team so well-balanced. They got a key game coming up this weekend playing UMass in Worcester.
Meanwhile, a very damaging loss for the hopes of Florida State. I think you can just about forget about the ACC now getting in 7 teams, but perhaps 6?
Well, I really feel this way right now about the ACC. Watching all the conferences this week, the ACC is the strongest. We all know that. 4 teams in the top 10. And what this does now, North Carolina gets that 5th one. Virginia forget the loss to Duke. Based on their power ratings right now being at 26 and 31 in both of those polls, I really feel that Virginia will be the 6th team based on the strength of the ACC conference.
But a tough schedule coming up. They've got to avoid, I guess, a mental letdown after that heartbreaking loss to Duke this week. Coming up, perhaps the all-time story of overcoming adversity. Hawaii and Wyoming go to overtime in the WAC. We'll have highlights coming up.
This halftime report is presented by the Delta Faucet Company. Delta, the faucet.
Polished brass has always had one problem. Until now. Delta introduces Brilliance, the extraordinary new polished brass finish that's guaranteed to shine for life. New Brilliance from Delta, the faucet.
We're rolling.
Do you remember?
Excellent.
Everybody has imagined the home of their dreams. But at State Farm, we dream about a house that looks great from the inside. One strong enough to survive a hurricane or other natural disaster. That's why we helped found the Institute for Property Loss Reduction, a research and education group determined to strengthen building materials and building codes. Because at State Farm, we think the most beautiful kind of home will always be the one that's still standing.
Daddy, don't go to the big store!
I have to go. When you get that craving for a Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich made with Dave's blend of pepper and spices, it's hard to resist.
Your wife called. She said bring home a quart of milk.
What? In this weather?
Welcome back to the Delta Faucet Report. You did not want to be the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors this week. Your starting center, Seth Sundberg, out for the season with a lacerated spleen. Your backup center in bed with the flu. 3 guys have been suspended. Then, when you're on the way to Wyoming, your bus slips off the road on black ice, skids 200 yards, stops just short of a telephone pole, broken glass all over the players. You wait an hour and a half on the side of the highway for a new bus in freezing temperatures to get to Laramie at 3:30 a.m. on Wednesday. Then you're down 5 with 20 seconds to go, and somehow you'll force overtime and you'll win the game on the road at Laramie at 7,200 feet, a few thousand miles from home, to go 9-2 in the conference. Perseverance. Congratulations to the Rainbow Warriors. Utah, ranked number 5 in the country, pulls away, blows out SMU. Another big ball game for Keith Van Horn. New Mexico, no trouble at the pit with Rice, 81-64. Charles Smith had 19 points. Tulsa blowing out lowly UTEP on the road. Shea Seals, another big ball game. He was 10 of 13 from before. Charleston, ranked for the first time in history, trailed part of this game, came back to beat FIU 13-0 in the TAC. And Digger, Temple, dangerous, a 2-point win over St. Joe's in this game.
Well, Temple's starting to creep up. They're trying to fight for second place. This weekend they play at Rhode Island, and it's another step closer to that showdown with UMass March 1st to see who will be the second place team in the east of the A-10.
Temple on the fence at 14-7, but up to 7-4 now, fighting for the lead in the A-10. Gauchos surprising the Tigers by 6 at the break.
This is your mission, should you choose to accept it.
Simple game. Is he serious?
Always.
It's much worse than you think.
I can understand you're very upset.
You've never seen me very upset.
Premiering February 12th on pay-per-view.
Need a lift?
Not
Nice car, kid. It's my Subaru Outback Sport. Another Outback. Same all-wheel drive traction as yours. Better gas mileage than a Cherokee Sport. That's fine, but can she Alcorn or RAV4? No problem. Outback Sport. The newest Outback from Subaru.
Test drive one now during all-wheel drive days at your California Subaru dealer.
There's a somebody I'm
Every year, more than 50 million Americans prepare their own taxes, and almost 8 million make mistakes. Mistakes that can cost them money. But H&R Block stands behind every return it prepares. And with those odds, maybe it's a mistake not to go to H&R Block.
someone to watch over me.
Welcome back to the Faucet. NBA scores. Utah beats Portland. Karl Malone, 24 points and 11 rebounds. Stockton dished out 13 assists. NHL, Gretzky's homecoming, not a pleasant one. 18 games now without a goal as the Blues beat the Blue Shirts. Is it bedtime for real now, Digger?
We're going to head to the Big Apple.
Exciting second half coming up from the Thunderdome right after this.
Delta introduces Brilliance, the extraordinary new polished brass finish that never tarnishes, even when exposed to salt water. New Brilliance, guaranteed to shine for life. From Delta, the faucet.
You missed the moonwalk.
Ignition, liftoff.
You missed Woodstock. But in your lifetime, the technologies used in cars and trucks will change. Starting with EV1 from General Motors, the first modern production electric car in America.
We deliver great quality, time after time.
Same with Super 8.
Every room is comfortable. And roomy.
Super 8.
Super 8. Life's great at Super 8.
We're in the car business, not the document business. That's why we use an outside specialist. Like us, they're quick and precise. They have a dedicated account manager who comes right to my office. I like it when things get done without me having to worry.
Every day, over 200,000 businesses use Kinko's, the new way to office.
At Kinko's, for a limited time, get Microsoft Office 97 trial software for only $4.99.
At BASF, we don't make the mattress, we make it softer. We don't make the boots, we make them drier. We don't make the house, we make it livelier. We don't make the snowboard, we make it stronger. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy. We make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
Welcome back once again to the Thunderdome in Santa Barbara. A 6-point lead for the Gauchos over the Tigers of Pacific, the leaders in the Big West. Joel Myers along with Larry Farmer. Normally for the Gauchos of UCSB, it is Raymond Tutt, their leading scorer at 23-point average and a little else. But tonight the bench has come through in a big way, and especially Josh Merrill.
It really has, and he's contributed some of the 19 points that they've scored. You watch Josh Merrill here. He hit three threes in that first half. He steps back here. You see him knock this one down. Great look. He had 11 points in that first half. B.J. Button Jr., another player who needed to step up in this ball game. He has 4 points in the first half, but more importantly, he's gotten 2 offensive rebounds and given his team 2 extra possessions to have an opportunity to score. Now, Pacific has done a nice job of getting the ball inside, and here you see Olowokandi. He gets the ball on the inside and elects to take a fall-away jump shot. Doesn't get it. Pacific needs to go inside and get some scoring. They've only gotten 3 points in the paint so far in this first half.
And they've only shot 35% from the field. Look at the free throws, the opportunities for Pacific that they failed to capitalize upon at the stripe as well. Only 50% there. And a couple of weeks ago, these two teams met, actually a little more than 2 weeks ago, on the 25th, a game that was dominated by Pacific. They out-rebounded them by 7 already. Santa Barbara's got 24 tonight, only 3 off their total output. of that January 25th game. And in field goal percentage, Pacific hit it even 50% in that last game compared to 35 over the first 20 tonight, and already Santa Barbara 4 percentage points higher through the first half of play over their 39% from just about 2.5 weeks ago.
The Pacific's a team that shoots 44% from the floor on the year, so they're 10 percentage points under what they normally shoot, and I think you can attribute that to Santa Barbara and their aggressive play, but also a slow start, lack of focus at the beginning.
And don't forget, Tutt averages 23, had only 8 in the first half. Bunton is free, and just inside the three-point line, B.J. Bunton with 5 left on the shot clock. Comes through again, down to the baseline. Lead is up to 8. Well, you want to take that crowd out. That's not exactly what you wanted to start if you're a Pacific Tiger.
Coach Wooden always talked about the first 5 minutes of the game, the first 5 minutes of the half being so important to a team's confidence.
Owens coming through. Big way to start the second half with a three-pointer. Bring them back within 5, the Tigers of Pacific. Owens now with 9. Leading player for the Tigers was Bowman off the bench in the first 20 minutes of play, and he had a dozen. Only one in double figures for Pacific.
You expect the balance from Pacific, but you certainly don't expect those kinds of numbers, only getting double-figure scoring out of a player you bring off the bench.
But nice move. Didn't finish, but Wallace is there, and he's going to go to the line as Owens reached in. So 2 free throws coming up for Wallace. Bunton looking for the shot early in the second half.
Bunton might be guilty of shooting that ball just slightly before he had his shoulder squared to get a really good look at the basket. But you see Wallace there anticipating the missed shot, getting to the ball quickly, and then drawing the foul.
Keelan Wallace 0 for 6 in the first half, 0 for 4 from the floor, 0 for 2 at the free throw line. He's a junior from Sherman, Texas, 70% of the stripe on the season, and finally gets one. He's 1 of 3 there now. Lead is back up to 6.
You watch Wallace jump. He's a quick jumper. He high jumped for his track team in high school. High jumped 6'8".
You knew it was going to be a tough night for the Tigers when they had an opportunity with the potential of 7 points to start the game, 4 free throws on 2 technicals and the ball out of bounds. And they only came up with 1. Missed the shot after making only 1 of 4 free throws by Bolter.
An 82% free thrower. And that's got to really scare you as a coach.
Owens trying another 3, and Ottawa Condi finally coming through inside. His first basket of the night. So Michael Olowokandi drawing the Tigers within 5 once again.
Bob Thomason told us before the ball game that he thought Olowokandi was about 80% physically recovered from that sprained knee. He wanted to get Olowokandi some touches early to really get his confidence revved up, get him thinking more about scoring and playing the game and less about that knee.
Plenty of time left in the shot clock. Bean needed every inch to get that one.
At 5'11", that's really stretching it.
Wallace, nice fingertip roll. Didn't get a break on it. And Bolter picks up the loose ball. Little seal for Olowokandi. Cleared out that right side of the paint for Bolter.
Sneaky little screen that time. Olowokandi running to his spot in transition on the low post. Spotted Bolter bringing the ball up the floor and just sort of held his ground to provide a block.
Offensive foul on Bean after he lost the dribble. His teammates didn't recognize he was in trouble. And taking that shot, it was Owens.
And you watch Bolter, and you see 55 right there. Olowokandi just sort of steps over, gets a nice little hip on the defender, and that clears off just enough of a lane for Mark Bolter to use the left hand and make that layup in transition.
Fortunately, Owens okay after taking the shot from Bean with the ball. This is the closest the Tigers have been since about 10 minutes into the game. And now they can either tie it up or cut the deficit down to a point.
Good ball movement.
Looking for Olowokandi. The follow-away is there, so he's hit his first two. What a pick-me-up that is after he was 0 for 2 in the first half, but he picked up 2 early fouls and sat down 5 minutes into the game. 1-point ball game now.
And then having sat out 7 games just prior to playing against Utah State the last ball game, you wonder about Oluwakandi's physical conditioning.
Wallace walked with it. Now a chance for the Tigers to take the lead as Bowman, their leading scorer in the first half, comes into the game for Owens, who just took that shot to the chin. Bob Thomas wanted a flagrant foul, didn't get the call. Clear out for Bowman if he wants it. And a hold inside on Bunt, grasping Olowokandi from behind. 18-2 mark for the Tigers coming into those 18 victories, the most for the Tigers in the 1979 season. Look back at that hold.
Olowokandi moving very nicely without the basketball. You see the hold on the inside. He played soccer and triple jump as a youngster, so he's got excellent foot speed and foot movement.
Well, if he was a goalie, that was a good save, but he lost the handle. Now he's bailed out as Bean has it taken away by Bowman. Bowman was the catalyst for them in the first half. They would have been lost without Bowman, and now Bean picks up his 3rd foul, making his 4th foul. That is 4 on Bean. And a technical is coming up on Bowman, I believe. Yes, technical foul on Bowman for applauding basically in the face of Les Bean.
Well, Les Bean gets assessed.
So a little taunting here.
And that's an easy call. You see Bean bellying up, really doesn't have. And there's the taunting by Bowman. The clap and then the smile and then the look. You eliminate that. It's an excellent play by Bowman.
1-point game as Tutt goes to the line trying to make it a 3-point advantage for the Gauchos. Gets one more. No touches at all so far in the first minute. 4 minutes of the second half for Raymond Tutt, their leading scorer. He's not been involved with the offense at all.
You know, he's a very unselfish player, and he's very smart, and he doesn't get over anxious to get the ball and score. He just sort of lets the offense come to him. And, you know, again, as Jerry Pimm said, if he has any fault, it might be that he's too unselfish of a player. I'd like to get him more shots.
Those are his first 2 points of the second half. He's got 10 now for the contest. 3-point lead again for the Gauchos. They have the ball after the technical. Button trying to reverse it, taken away by Bolter. He's got Bowman in the break. And Bowman with the advantage, the man on the move, never had position. Keelan Wallace drawing the foul. Good idea.
Bowman making a much better decision that time in the open court. You see him just get that shoulder in his head slightly past the defender, and that gives the offensive player the advantage.
Bowman looking for his first points of the second half. He's got 13 for the game now. The distraction he has to deal with. Doesn't bother him, though. Give Bowman 14 to lead Pacific off the bench. They were down by 6 at the break, and as we have a timeout on the floor, Tigers are down by only 1 now.
Cozy, huh? What? Whoa. Bedroom? No way. Security? Close to transportation! Classic fixtures. Ooh, what do we have here? Bud Light. Go ahead. It's got your name on it. I'll get my own. Nice. Huh?
I'll take it. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
That was close. I was down on my last one.
Hey, Juwan, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Juwan?
Juwan, who?
Juwan, go McDonald's and buy me 6-piece chicken McNuggets. It's only 99 cents. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Scotty.
Scotty who?
It's gotta be 9 McNuggets for me. They're just $1.59. Great with America's favorite fries. Knock, knock. Who's there? Him. He'll who? He'll buy us 20. Well, they're just $2.99. Yeah!
McDonald's Chicken McNuggets, America's favorite way to dunk.
So, where do you want this?
Hey now, I ordered a new copier.
This is better than new, my friend. Allow me to demonstrate. Oh, what do we have here? Wow. Enlarges, too. Even collates.
I'll take it.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
That was close. I didn't think I could shove this baby through.
Santa Barbara clings to a 1-point lead over Pacific. And don't forget tomorrow on ESPN, tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern, the State Farm U.S. Figure Skating Championships. More than 300 of the best in the U.S. competing at those skating championships. World champion Todd Eldridge attempting to win his 4th U.S. title. That is tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern. Beans on the bench with 4 for Santa Barbara, so that leaves the point guard duties up to Paul Chavez, the junior from Bakersfield, the backup. Never looks for the shot, really. Doesn't have any numbers offensively. So you're not worried about a scoring threat there.
Chavez, like Bean, offensively runs the offense for his club, but defensively applies the pressure to the ball.
Anders' unselfish play really cost him there. He had an easy layup if he takes it himself, doesn't he, Larry?
He certainly does. And Barkir Allen, Johnny on the spot and hustling back and breaking up what would have been a layup. See Barkir just barely getting his left hand on the ball. Excellent foot speed and anticipation, not giving up on that play.
Opportunity for the Tigers to take the lead. Mahaffey. He wanted it back. He gets it from Bowman. Tough fall away. And Chavez, smallest man on the floor with the rebound. Allen has Tutt on the weak side. Instead, it's Button. And the turnaround jump hook works. What a turnaround it was. The opportunity for the Tigers to take the lead. They squandered the opportunity in the transition and find themselves down by 3 again.
When Button turns over that left shoulder to shoot that right-handed jump hook and he gets his shoulders perpendicular to that baseline, got a really nice-looking shot.
Chavez gets it done again at the defensive end of the floor. Just had a rebound, now has a steal. Barkir Allen for 3. He never looks for the shot either and comes up with it. Timeout Pacific. The son of Lucius Allen, the former All-American at UCLA with a big three-pointer. And all of a sudden the lead is back to 6. They're a halftime advantage.
Barkir Allen, mechanical engineering major. He's only taken 18 three-point shots on the game. You're watching transition right here. Now you watch B.J. Button Jr. Nice drop step, and when he gets those shoulders perpendicular to the basket, just a very nice look. And Chavez with the great hands gets on top of the ball. There's no chance for a foul. Pushes it up the floor. Now he's going to swing the ball in transition. He spots Allen, who softly goes up. Again, he's only taken 18 three-point attempts on the season. Squares up, likes that one, and knocks it down.
Why do I feel like I'm on the set of Singled Out for some reason here in Santa Barbara tonight? They are rocking. They are rocking here this evening.
Well, it appears every time Pacific finds a groove and they start to function offensively and defensively, Santa Barbara keeps making big plays.
Corey Anders answers. Did they ever need it? After 5 straight points for the Gauchos.
Pacific having switched defenses. Playing a zone now.
Bunt. And it was deflected by Barkir Allen off of Owens. Heads up play.
Well, that possession, Pacific went to what appeared to be a 1-2-2 zone. Coach Thomason told us his primary defense was man-to-man.
Fell asleep defensively on the inbound series, didn't they?
And that's a result a lot of times if your primary defense is man-to-man and you're forced to switch. And Thomason told us that he would switch to a zone, and if he was successful in it, he would stay in it, but he really didn't like playing.
So now Tutt, who's only had 2 points in the second half. They're still up by 4, believe it or not. His 2 came at the free throw line on the technical. It was called against Bowman. Gets his 3rd the second half. He's well below his average. Plenty of time, of course. As Tutt has 11 thus far. He had 8 in the first 20. 23 per game so far this season, 11th best in the nation. And give him a dozen. 6-point advantage once again. Chavez won't give up. And Tutt knocked it away from Owens. Thought they were going to give it to Tutt for a second there.
Tutt leads the Santa Barbara team in steals. He averages 1.5 steals per game. We talk so much about his offensive ability, but there you saw the alert play, the quickness to the basketball, and almost got another steal.
Olowokandi. An opportunity for the three-point play now. Good ball movement after the little pick and roll out top. Mahaffey gave it up to Bulger, rolled up to the right side. Quick entry to Olowokandi.
They want to get the defense concerned about that pick and roll, and ultimately what they want to do is get the big guy isolated one-on-one on the low post, and Olowokandi really answering. You know, you watch him, he hasn't played basketball for that many years, and at his size, at 270, he does a lot of shots where he doesn't attack the basket. And as you watch Olowokandi improve, look to see him. He's only a sophomore. Get the ball and drop step and take it to the goal.
After the miss, Rain Mahaffey with a great play. They played a lot of volleyball on this floor, and that was almost like a set that he sent out to the half-court line. Poured into Olowokandi again. He's fouled. He gets it again. And all of a sudden, everything going inside of the big guy, and he's coming through for them.
Now, he just showed you what he likes to do on the block going left shoulder. He's going to come around and watch this. He's going to fake the move he just beat the defense on, and he's going to turn left shoulder. Very tough to stop a big man who's comfortable in turning either way and taking that shot.
What a difference a year makes. He's flat on the free throw. Mahaffey did it again. In the corner, Anders has the three-pointer. And the Tigers have the lead by 1, 46-45 on a 7-0 spurt.
And they go right back in that zone defense, playing very soft, inviting Santa Barbara.
Ball inside, Mahaffey going down to try to come up with it. Alternating possession arrow gives it to Pacific. Now they have just taken that away, the three-pointer. They're saying that it is only a two-pointer, so it's tied up at 45 apiece. Originally they had 46 up. They say his foot was on the line. Corey Anders give him 2 instead of 3. But all the momentum right now with the Tigers finally get it in inside because there is such a total mismatch between Olowokandi and the tallest player, Pinckney, for the Gauchos.
And Bob Thomason told us he felt that that really hurt Mark Bolter, who's an excellent outside shooter, when Olowokandi was sidelined for those 7 ball games. They didn't have that inside threat, so the perimeter defense of all of their opposition was really able to pressure up and take away those nice, clear, open three-point looks. But you get Olowokandi involved offensively on the inside, the defense has to respect that. That will open up the perimeter shooting.
Pinckney called for the hold. They were battling on both sides of the paint for the last 10 to 15 seconds.
Pinckney, 6'10", 250.
Bonus situation for Olowokandi. We saw that last one. There may be a crack in the window after that last free throw. 12:40 left in the second half. It is tied at 45. He's only 41% on the season at the stripe. Doesn't get a break on that roll.
For a 41% free thrower, that did look awfully nice. I mean, it had nice rotation, maybe a little bit too much air under the ball. Very high arc, but certainly an area he's going to improve in.
Shot clock inside of 10 now. Tutt for 3. Bangs it home. His first bucket of the second half, and a 3-point lead with 12 minutes to go.
When Tutt was at Azusa Pacific, NAIA school, he was an All-American. He averaged 26 points a game. He had 8 games where he scored over 30. What a quick release on that shot.
Bulger available for 3. He's been off all night long. And it's saved by Pinckney. Did a good job of boxing out Olowokandi. Gauchos with the ball and a 3-point lead.
And the zone defense will really slow the pace down of the game.
Wallace didn't get the roll, but he follows his own and comes up with the loose ball, drawing the foul on Bolter. Good hustle. Pinkney is taking a beating inside. He kept that one alive. And Pinkney, more than any other player on the floor maybe, after working against Ottawa Candy, he needs a break. Tutt gives him a 3-point lead.
State Farm presents Rules of the Game.
Today's topic is palming the ball. In this play, the player, while dribbling, carries the ball from one side to the other and then continues to dribble. Is this legal?
Life isn't just measured in days or years. It's measured in doorways and walkways, or a favorite sweater, long outgrown. At State Farm, we give our policyholders a yardstick of their own. It's called the Family Insurance Checkup. It helps them measure their own needs and pick the coverage that's right for them. So call your agent for a checkup. Because insurance, like other things in life, is something you never want to outgrow.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Palming is an illegal dribble. The player commits a violation because the ball comes to rest in his hand, but then he continues to dribble. Once the ball comes to rest, he cannot dribble.
Rules of the Game has been brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't let love pass you by.
Bob Thomason can't believe the development so far. He comes in at 18-2 overall, 9-1 in Pacific. Our Big West play. You ready for the PCAA? Bring it back. You can get an idea of why they're so successful. 8th in scoring margin. Tough defense. 9th best in the country, Larry.
Yeah, they're very stingy, giving up only 58 points per game. Their opponents shoot 39%, which is #1 in the Big West Conference. So not only do they make your shots difficult, but they don't let you score.
The takeaway in the save, and a good play by Bowman once again off the bench for the Tigers. Surprising we haven't seen Merrill in the second half after what he did in the first half for Jerry Pimm. Ottawa Candy, not close. And Stock off the bench picks it up. That's Stock. Ottawa Candy got a piece of that attempt by looked like Wallace. Check that. There was Williams, and now Treewater can only get one arm up because the left arm was being held down. Stock for 3. And a foul. Look for the 4-point play. It's coming up, possibly. Bench hasn't meant much for Jerry Pimm tonight, has it?
You watch Doc right here. Comes down, really rhythms up, and you see Bowman just bump him ever so slightly. See, just beats the defense down the floor. Nobody really picks him up and accounts for him. And watch the crowd react to that, as if they weren't already in this ballgame.
Fortunately, they're out of tortillas. 7-point lead after a 6-point lead at the break for the Gauchos. It was tied at 45, and now they've run off 7 unanswered. Ottawa Candy and Nordahl trying to just keep it alive. Wallace committing the foul. Free throw times continue the rest of the way for the Tigers. Only 5 team fouls so far on Pacific, so the Gauchos not yet in the bonus. And Tim Nordahl, the young man from Perth, Australia, going to the free throw line.
I really like Olowokandi. I think he's going to be a fine player as a sophomore, but you can tell the European influence and his lack of experience. He's really catching the ball at that 5- and 6-foot mark and in. And many times he's bailing out instead of attacking the defense. He's letting the defense off the hook by shooting turnaround fall-away jump shots. You got to punish the defense. You catch it that close to the basket, take it to the basket.
Lean on it. Bill Withers, lean on me. The halfway point of the second half. Tutt, nice crossover. He's available. Don't let him get close. 6-point lead. Didn't take long for Tutt to get to work. 17 now for Raymond.
That will make Tutt an NBA prospect. Plays like that, being able to take it in, draw contact, and still create a shot for himself.
Olowokandi, and it's batted away from Nordahl by Williams. The break, and Pinckney finishes. Look out. Little forearm shiver from Stott. Scott's not much into this game, not a part of the game at all. As Mahaffey comes in now, Olowokandi needs it. He was just late getting back to keep up with Pinckney in the transition.
And a little bit frustrated, I think, at his last effort, his last attempt that he missed. Matt Pinckney just running the floor, making himself available, sprinted, beat his defender down the court, gave the sign, and that's what you want to do if you're a big man. Outrun the guys that's guarding you if you're tired.
Bowman earns the back end of the bonus hit in the first, and now Merrill, who was phenomenal, had 11 in the first half. Even for the first time in the second half. Hard to believe it took so long with 9:01 left in the game.
Well, you have your substitution pattern, and you want to bring guys in, especially if you're not getting any points or your defense is struggling. Merrill certainly provided a lot of offense, but right now that's Santa Barbara's providing a lot of offense on their own.
7-point lead for the Gauchos. Merrill going to the other big guy, Pinckney. Tried to get it, and it's out of bounds at the baseline. Tried to get it across to Williams. That's a real break. It looked like it was going to be a turnover.
Maybe one too many extra passes on the inside. Merrill in a very good position to shoot the ball. And what will happen oftentimes, if you don't have correct spacing, is if you can just get the ball up, if you have a player on your team that's open, you allow him an opportunity to get to the offensive board.
This kind of night has been for Pacific. He lets it go. It's their ball. He's got his foot on the line. Unbelievable. Tutt gets free. Keeps it alive. Williams losing it, going down to get it. It's been that kind of night, though. UCSB is going down to the floor, playing very aggressive basketball.
You know, and it's really playing out. Coach Pimm told us, said this team really hasn't busted loose yet. He said they're getting better, they're improving, but they really haven't quite gotten there yet. And this might be the game where he can look back and say, it was against Pacific that I really felt my team matured.
Heads up play by Tim Bowman. Gets Corey Anders to the free throw line. As Anders was running after picking up the screen on the baseline with the scores out of the West Coast. Don't forget what Pacific did in the first half, hitting only 7 of 14 free throw attempts. They get back into the game at the line. They'll be shooting 2 the rest of the way. That was the 10th team foul on Santa Barbara. And Anders capitalizes, making it a 5-point ball game.
Santa Barbara just hustling to a man, trying to get at every loose ball, running the floor. Pacific's got to settle down defensively.
Tutt has it taken away. Clean pick by Anders. And he brings them back within 3. Corey Anders coming over the last 4 points. 2 at the free throw line and 2 on the great defensive work there.
Corey Anders leads the Big West in steals. He averages 3 per game. He's 13th nationally in thievery. Just quick hands, alert play to knock that ball away.
Merrill held from behind by Nordahl, away from the ball. That'll be the 6th team foul. One more. And Santa Barbara is shooting. We've got a timeout on the floor. It's only a 3-point lead for the Gauchos, as well as they have played this evening. That might bode well for the Tigers over the final 7 minutes and 48 seconds.
Here's some magical news from Continental Cablevision. The Disney Channel is now available as part of Continental Cablevision's standard service. Your family will love all the movies every night on the magical world of Disney, plus the original series and specials, all at an unbeatable value. Continental Cablevision now brings your family all the magic, all the excitement, and all the fun of the Disney Channel every day.
Most banks force you to fit into, well, their way of doing things.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't answer your question. Please go stand in line at the customer service phone. Next.
But there's another bank where people get to know you, so you can get things done faster and better.
Yes, you could be earning higher interest on your checking. Let me show you how.
So why settle for a bank where you get treated like just a customer when you can get treated like a client at First Federal Bank?
Part of sports. Some of them can be pretty interesting characters. Look at ours.
Dan, how we doing?
Hi, Mr. Burley. How are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Take care of Gigi for a little while. I want to take a walk around the place, all right? What do you do up here?
I'm the producer for the 6:30 show.
What do you produce? All right, good. No facial hair.
Sorry?
It distracts from the top. I want to see you in a year and a half. That's it.
Why?
I think you may be using the wrong shampoo. I want to talk to you about that a little bit later.
Where?
Right over here. Right over here. This isn't one of ours. This is not one of ours.
3-point lead for the Gauchos at home, and welcome back to Santa Barbara, California. South Carolina, Cincinnati leading things off. ABC's great lineup of college basketball this coming Saturday. It all begins at 1:30 Eastern. Maryland on the road taking on UMass, and UCLA coming up with their biggest win of the year, winning on the road at Arizona by a couple tonight. Staying down to the Valley of the Sun in Tempe, they'll take on Arizona State. Joel Myers with Larry Farmer, 7:48 left. The Gauchos with the ball, clinging to a 3-point advantage. They were just up by 9. And the foul on Bowman is going to send Stock, one of the better free throw shooters, to the line.
Bowman, a very aggressive defender, really not a smart play to pressure up that close on a man that has yet to use his dribble.
So now Stock can capitalize. He is solid behind the arc. We saw him come up with a big 3-pointer. Get fouled for the 3-point or 4-point play. He earns the back end of the bonus. That's the 3rd foul on Bowman.
And, you know, Joe, you talked about Stock and him not looking to shoot the 3-point shot. In the last 5 games, he's only had 1 turnover. So he really quarterbacks this club, and he makes a lot of good decisions. And when you get him scoring points, that's really an added bonus.
Hockey and Bolter now. 5-point lead after the 2 at the line for Stock. Mahaffey for 3. Anders on the follow. And off the fingertips of Mahaffey, Stock again. Coming up with the loose ball. Odo Candy ready to come in on the next whistle. 20-second timeout. He'll be able to come in right now. Called by Jerry Pimm in Santa Barbara to set up the next offensive set. So now 7:08 left. Tigers with only 2 losses so far this season. Don't forget, happy hour begins this coming Saturday. NASCAR Speed World, 4:30 Eastern time. Final day of practice before the green flag drops on the Daytona 500. 4:30 Eastern for happy hour. Then at 5:30, before they go green, go inside the Daytona 500, an inside look. First race of the NASCAR season. It all begins Saturday, 4:30 Eastern on ESPN. Don't forget what happened to the Tigers on the 2nd of January. They lost their best threat from the outside, Adam Jacobson, their all-time career 3-point leader, torn medial collateral ligament. Tigers' best from 3-point range is going to be back next year, fortunately, for his senior season.
It really is Adam Jacobson. He made 80 3-point shots last game. He averaged 14 a game, and Bob Thomason told us that he was really impressed. Mark Bolter really stepping up and taking over a lot of the scoring load that they lost from Adam Jacobson, and even Bolter picked up some of the defensive load.
This is what Jacobson did before he was gone this year. 13, better than 3 assists. All-time career leader in 3-point field goals. That's what Bob Thomason wants, but he'll come back next year. Now, Olowokandi maybe gone in a hurry with 6:57 left. He just picked the 4th foul, but Merrill couldn't take advantage of it. And Pinckney, going after the loose ball, created the walk. Gauchos have been hitting the deck all night long. That one, it pays off.
There really is no substitute for hustling, not giving up on plays, getting on the floor for loose balls, getting above that rim on missed shots. And that has been one of the keys tonight to Santa Barbara. They have just not given up on plays, and they've out-hustled Pacific, especially when Pacific has started to make runs.
Tutt gets free on the inbounds again. But they smack it away. Bowman took it away.
Tutt really lost in defensive traffic that time. He's not a real explosive leaper where he might have been able to jump over the defense and free himself.
Tough one, and Bolter hits it. He's had easier shots tonight. He has not had a great night from the field. Comes up big that time, though, with the fall away on the baseline. 3-point lead for Santa Barbara. Stock for 3. The little guy does it again. He only averages 3 points a game. And he's got 10 tonight.
Hey, he matched that on one shot. Stock voted the top athlete in the state of Wyoming in 1991.
Pick and roll. Olowokandi couldn't handle it.
You watch the pick. You see Olowokandi with the roll. The pass is up. Olowokandi guilty of perhaps looking at the rim or looking at the defense and not looking that basketball into his hands. The first thing you do on a pick and roll, if that ball comes to you, is catch the ball and then look to finish.
Gauchos try to add to their 6-point lead. See if they can get Merrill involved offensively. Button back in asking for it. Merrill. Tough one. Olowokandi with the rebound. The numbers favor the Tigers now. A 3-on-2. Bolter available for 3. It's been that kind of night for Bolter. And it goes back to the Gauchos. He was right on line, but hard off the heel.
And that's his look. Square to the basket. A lot of separation between himself and the defense. He's had back-to-back games, Bolter has, where he's made 6 threes. He had 6 threes against New Mexico. He had 6 threes against Utah State.
Tutt gets free on the baseline and finishes. 11 in the second half for Raymond Tutt. Timeout Pacific. 19 in the game for Raymond.
You watch Tutt along the baseline, beats his defender, stops on a dime, gets a nickel change. Actually, he gets 2 points. He wants to raise the roof.
He averages 23 a game. That is 11th best in the nation. 7 rebounds, tops on the team in scoring and rebounding. And he leads the Big West, not too shabby in 3-point field goal percentage. We see what he can do from beyond the arc. He's got a real quick release.
Yeah, he really does. And Jerry Pimm told us today he's got that innate ability to score. He just sniffs the ball out. He knows how to get to it when it's a loose ball situation. And when he shoots his jump shot, Joe, he doesn't reach the peak of his jumper before he lets it go. He's on his way up. And many times he beats the defender to that defensive spot.
8-point lead for the Gauchos. Inside of 5 minutes left. Olowokandi with a mismatch on Bunton. Again, he just hasn't been finishing. Tutt. And it was just barely poked out of bounds by Anders. A break, though, for the Tigers because Tutt was there and he slipped a little bit just like Anders did. Beat the defender down the floor. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. 28. 4:39 on the game clock.
Pacific needs a real good defensive series right here.
What an effort defensively by Bowman. Been the catalyst off the bench offensively.
13 seconds on the shot clock.
Ottawa Candy holding on to Button's jersey in front of the officials. Timeout is called. When you got 4 fouls, that is serious nerves. Very serious nerves.
The guts of a burglar. And it's not that you can't spot a guy that's 7 foot tall, 260.
So still an 8-point lead when they put it back into play. 13 seconds left on the shot clock for the Gauchos. This coming Saturday on ESPN. Noon, it all starts. Eastern time, GW, the Colonials. Somewhat of a disappointment this year. Xavier at home, ranked number 19 this week, taking on the Colonials. And then the matchup later that night, 7:30 Eastern. Duke barely escaping at Virginia in a controversial one on ESPN. They are on the road taking the Seminoles of Florida State, trying to avenge a loss to Duke earlier this year, 72-66 at Cameron Indoor. There's our lineup for Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. And Stock tried to throw it off the legs of Owens. Didn't work. Bowman steps out on the arc. And a foul on Anders on the weak side, sending Merrill to the line. Bowman really never set. He looked more comfortable, and then when he stepped beyond the arc right in front of us, Larry, just didn't look that comfortable, did he?
Really didn't have his legs set underneath him, didn't establish a good shooting base, and that shot had miss all over it. Pacific, a nice job of scouting by their coaching staff and defending that out-of-bounds play that Santa Barbara tried to run. It's just very unfortunate to come down and then not have an opportunity to get a score.
Merrill is yet to take a shot in the second half after coming up with 11 big ones in the first half. Got a great stroke. Give him 12 on the game now.
Well, Merrill, an excellent wing player, and talking to the coaching staff, they said, you know, he rebounds well, but he's lacked confidence. He certainly didn't lack any confidence as far as that stroke went in the first half.
Big-time free throws gives them a 10-point lead. Their largest lead of the game came late in the first half when they were up by 11. A step for Owens, and he finishes. Tough shot off the glass. Wasn't off balance at all, was he, partner?
Oh, Bob Thomason up wanting a foul in addition to that. What a tough shot.
Merrill asking for it against the smaller man, Bolter. Button knocked out of there. Ottawa Candy comes up with it. The break for Bowman. And it's down to a 6-point lead for the Gauchos. Instant offense after they took it away at the defensive end.
And every time Santa Barbara appears to be putting Pacific away, Pacific mounts an effort defensively. They move the ball offensively. They wind up getting some easy opportunities to score.
Stock, very aggressive move. Doesn't get the fingertip roll, and Merrill avoided the foul. And now, right in front of us, the foul on a frustrated Anders, sending Stock back to the stripe.
Bolter did everything right on that play except score the layup.
It's been a tough night for Bolter. He's got 5 points tonight, averaging 13 a game coming in.
Now here's that off-balance shot by Owens. And this was, again, off their defense in transition, just moving the ball, nice spacing, getting it to the open man, and finishing off the fast break.
Stock with 3:12 left. Seven-point advantage. at 8. The Gauchos up by 8 once again with 3:12 left, and they love it in Santa Barbara.
When Dave Thomas created Wendy's Spicy Chicken Sandwich, he used a whole breast filet seasoned with his own blend of pepper and spices, but did he go too far?
Very spicy.
Wimp. It's perfect.
Depends on who you ask. Try Wendy's Spicy Chicken Sandwich.
Don't let love pass you by.
Polished brass has always had one problem. Until now. Delta introduces Brilliance, the extraordinary new polished brass finish that's guaranteed to shine for life. New Brilliance from Delta, the faucet.
Hi, who's this? Mel.
What are you thinking about, Mel?
Something sweet.
Like what?
Caramel?
Caramel's so different. What would you like to do with it?
I'd cover it with roasted peanuts.
Roasted peanuts and creamy caramel? Wow. You're making me so hungry.
What you want is a payday.
We hope we are making not only their evening, but their life. And Rich Isaac and Brett Haber standing by. SportsCenter is coming up next. Guys, we'll put you on. I can't guarantee they'll give you any face time at all.
If you look at the letters on those guys, you wonder what their majors are. Biochemistry. It'll take a real smart guy to come up with something that crazy.
It's an 8-point lead for the Gauchos, and Anders got the good position on Merrill. Allen reached in, though. So 2 free throws coming up for Corey Anders. Joel Myers along with Larry Farmer. 3:02 remaining in the contest. Only 2 losses so far this year for the Tigers up Pacific. The biggest win total for this team since 1979. As Anders calmly collects the first. At one point, they won 16 in a row.
That win over Georgetown, I think, shocked a lot of people because Jahidi White.
The takeaway. Who else but Raymond Tutt? The King comes through again. And it's a 9-point lead. Only 2:40 left. Ottawa Candy. Tough one, and he gets it over Button. Here comes the pressure. Tutt gets a beat on the sideline. They continue to attack. Ottawa Candy held his ground.
Maybe the first bad play that's Tutt's made really didn't free himself from the defense.
Owens. That would have been huge, and Ottawa Candy is gone. He came over the back of Button. His night is over in Santa Barbara.
Olowokandi played 22 minutes against Nevada, and that was really his first game back after having missed the 7 that we talked about so often. You could see his timing a little bit off, a little bit rusty. And right there, he gets called for going over the back. Now, he's kept many balls alive because he's long-armed. He's been able to reach over the top of the defender with not getting a body on him, but that time he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Fouls out with 10. All 10 in the second half. Rain Mahaffey takes over down to the baseline. B.J. Vunt, Bill's little boy. Not so little, is he? 6'7", 225-pounder. He is only a sophomore from Vail High School in Louisville. Huge free throw. Makes it an 8-point lead with only 2:11 left. You remember facing B.J.'s dad, Final Four, 1972.
not per se. I'm sure he has more memories of playing against Bill Walton.
21 of 22. And that actually was the Memphis game, the 21 of 22. And there's the three-pointer for Owens.
2-2-1 full court zone press.
Plenty of time left. Tutt, tough. And they lose it again? No. It'll belong to the Gauchos still. What a break for Santa Barbara as they got sloppy in the offensive end, and Mahaffey took a shot to the eye.
Bakir Allen, he spots Tutt slicing into the lane, and you've got to make quick decisions there. Do you go ahead and attack the defense as it gets out back? And there you see the contact in the eye. Mahaffey checking to see if there's any blood.
Foul called on Bowman, his fourth. That'll put the Gauchos back at the line with a minute 48. That was down in the corner right in front of the UCSB bench. And the right man at the line, Raymond Tutt. As Bean has taken over. What a job Chavez did, as well as Stock when Bean was on the bench over most of the second half with 4 personal fouls. Tutt misses the first.
Pacific, if this free throw goes in, will be down 6, so you can anticipate any type of score or at least stopping of the clock, jumping back in that 2-2-1 press. And Santa Barbara's going to have to make some decisions. If we attack the press and we have an opportunity to score, do we take the layup or do we pull it out and take time off the clock?
Gets a second to make it. An even 2-possession game. 6-point lead for Santa Barbara. Bowman has it stripped cleanly by Bakir Allen. And they'll call a hold. Tough one. They're going to call it on Tutt.
Tutt coming into this ball game with just 19 fouls. He hasn't been disqualified. And I tell you what, partner, he did slap down, and that will often draw the whistle. But from that angle, it looked like he got all ball.
Thought they were going to call it on Allen, because Tutt did look like he got a lot of the ball. Big free throw by Bowman. Plenty of time left. Minute 41. Only a 5-point deficit for the Tigers. Smaller lineup, good 3-point shooters out there. The only big man out there is Rain Mahaffey. It's a 4-point ball game. And here comes the pressure in the backcourt.
Mahaffey's taken 52 3-pointers coming into this ball game, so he is certainly a capable outside shooter. Pacific with 5 players that can all hit from the perimeter if necessary, but right now they really don't need a 3. They need a stop, and then a combination of a 2-point goal, and if they don't get a stop, then look for a 3.
Inside of 10, you'd have to think they want Tutt to touch it here. Bean penetrating. Wallace loses. They have to hurry. Gets it off in time. And the rebound for Anders. The 3-1 coming up for Bowman. Tim Bowman doing it again. And it's a 2-point lead for the Gauchos with 59.2 left. We'll find out when we come back if the Gauchos can hang on. All the momentum right now with the Tigers and Bowman.
Don't let love pass you by.
There is a power company that stands apart from the rest. Southern Company. We're cutting costs by 20%, saving our customers millions. And when emergencies strike, no one is more responsible. We wake up over 12 million people every day, bring energy to thousands of cities around the world, and generate more electricity than any other power company in America. We are Southern Company. Energy to serve your world.
Northwest has a network that will take me any place I need to go. That might be Boston one day and Beijing the next. Deanna, they say to me, some people just know how to fly. Go fly.
ESPN's presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by BMW and the new BMW 5 Series. Now, more than ever, the ultimate driving machine.
Welcome back once again to just another sleepy night in Santa Barbara. 2-point lead for the Gauchos as they try to hang on. Led by as many as 11 in the first half. With 10 minutes left in the second half, they were leading by 10 once again. Down to a deuce. They want to keep it in the hands of Beam. As they got away from Andrews, almost lost the handle. Tutt asking for it, he won't get it. 71-69 lead for the Gauchos.
Pacific content to stay back in their man-to-man defense. There's no reason to foul. They're only down by 2. Nice switch on defense by Pacific.
Tutt's there. He's the creator and got away. What a move by Raymond Tutt. Owens has to hurry. He's indecisive. Bolter for 3. Again for 3. That'll do it. Raymond Tutt with the rebound, and the Gauchos will upset the Tigers.
No, they certainly don't want a technical foul here.
This is crazy. To throw this on the floor now.
And that's...
The officials may not have a choice.
They may not. And I tell you what, if I'm Coach Thomason...
They've got to win in sight. And to put this on the floor again. Jerry Pimm really upset.
And rightly so. Coach Pimm is a class act. He always has been. 40 years.
It is a technical. Another technical on Santa Barbara. This is the way the game began for those of you that joined us late. 4 technical free throws by Bolter. He missed 3 of 4. And it looked like Jim Stupin was going to call a technical. Rich Isaac, Red Haber standing by.
I can't do anything about it.
Sports Center is coming up next.
You're up 4, 6.2 seconds left to go. Your fans and their exuberance, and far too often they litter the floor, and I can't tell what that is. I hope it was just those tortillas and not anything else that might cause.
Unfortunately, they threw some ice on the floor as well.
And see, that will cause some problem. Now you've got to dry the floor because you create wet spots.
Jerry Pimm is gone. That's the 3rd technical. And who is going to be shooting the technicals coming up? Tutt first gets 2 for Santa Barbara. The Gauchos lead it by 4 with 6.2 left.
The foul shot, come down here, shoot 2 on the technical foul. Rock's going to get the ball in midcourt.
Well, Jim Stupin came over to explain it to us. 2 for Tutt. 2 for the Tigers, and then the Tigers have the ball with 6.2 to go. So now a couple of huge free throws coming up for Raymond Tutt.
You know, and as visible as basketball and as global as it has become, the student body here, they're aware this is a big game. It's on national television. And again, you want to come out and support your team and give them every home court advantage that you can. You really don't want to do things like this that puts them at a disadvantage. Tutt really needing to make these 2 free throws.
He's got to hit at least 1 of 2 because 2 are coming up for the Tigers, and then they can hit the 3-pointer. He's got to hit 1 to ensure overtime. He does that. Now it's a 5-point advantage. This could ice it.
The fans behind us yelling to the student body, no tortillas.
And he doesn't. So it's a 6-point lead. Now the 2 free throws coming up for the Tigers and the possession. They can cut the deficit back down to 4. But a 3-pointer can only draw them within 1.
And then they've got a foul right away, and certainly should be a lesson for everybody involved because there is only 6 seconds left to go. But if there were 16 seconds left to go,
Free throw missed by Bolter. Pimm is gone. He had to leave the floor. Head coach Jerry Pimm, and I bet this is a first for him, Larry. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And Bolter missed the first 3 tonight. He had 1 of 4 on the 4 technical free throws to start the game. Misses those 2, so 1 of 6 on technicals for Bolter. You look at the differential between the 2 teams. Huge difference with those misses at the technical. Bolter for 3. And that's all. The Gauchos can celebrate. The Tigers lose for only the 3rd time this year. It's only their 2nd loss in Big West Conference play. Our final score in Santa Barbara, the Gauchos 75, the Tigers 69. And for Larry Farmer, I'm Joel Myers. Thanks for joining us, everybody. So long, Santa Barbara.